Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Today's thought is going to be, do you have calluses on your forehead? And we're going to go to the direction of, do you have an appointment with the Lord today? And we're going to talk specifically about building habits. So recently, actually, as recently as yesterday, I was in Egypt, which was a great privilege to go there. And we began to see people with smudges on their forehead, calluses on their forehead. It kind of looked like a little bit like Ash Wendy smears in the middle of their forehead. And I noticed it, but I couldn't figure it out until we learned about the pillars of Islam. So Islam, you're called to prayer 5 times a day, and you have to bend down, if you're physically able, to on your knees, and then put your forehead and your nose on the ground. So in that practice, your forehead and your nose actually become like weight-bearing body parts, which obviously they're not normally. And you would too put your forehead on the ground like this if you thought you had to earn your way to heaven, which is what their theology is about. In fact, you'd better do it if that was your theology. So just a little side note, that theology is incorrect based on the Bible, and that is to bow to Allah is not the God of Christianity, and it's an idol, and it's a violation of the first commandment. That being said, it doesn't diminish the impressiveness of that practice of our human brothers and sisters under Islam. So the picture of a people where the devout have this habitual mark with prayer calluses on the front of their faces is really something. There's something to be admired about it and learn from that society. Now, on that trip, I broke a habit of my own, which was 2,119 days long, and I did it voluntarily, intentionally, and with purpose. So I'd like to make a few comments and observations about habits, and perhaps because of all those days and years, I've earned a right to say something about it. So here's the one thing about a habit. It is a routine that's supposed to bring you somewhere. The value isn't in the routine itself. It isn't the process. It isn't the counting that I just did for you. The value of a habit is its destination, and that is for God Himself, at least for these quiet time or non-quiet time habits that we're trying to build. So the value isn't in the destination, which is God Himself. So God is my treasure. And I think if we knew Him better, we would treasure Him more. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is God treasures me. This is the one that really blows my mind. He values us. And how do I know that? Well, I've read the Bible. I've read the plan of salvation that He went through great trouble to enact. And I see what He has exchanged to come and get me, to come and get you. What He has given in exchange for me is Jesus. So He had to give His Son in order to make me His Son. Now, I'm not saying that I'm a God. Oh, no. And I'm saying that the only God gave Himself to make a way to bring me to Himself. So when I came to the Lord, I didn't understand that. All I could see in front of me on that particular day was need and selfishness, and finally, at last, grief and agreement with God about my sin. So here is the thing about a regular practice to see if the Lord shows up. So will you show up? So the thing about a habit is, will you show up to see if the Lord shows up? So what if the Lord wanted to show up on a Wednesday to you, to tell you something? What if the Lord desired to share with you some precious little truth from His Word? Well, that's the beauty of this podcast or video, is that it is a habit. And could anybody describe you as devout, as I'm describing our Muslim friends as devout? And if you are not devout, what might that tell us? So you don't yet know that God is worth it. So that's one thing. So if you're not devout, one of the things it might tell us is that you don't yet know that God is worth it. And if we could see who God is, we would not stop praising Him. And I think if we look to all the examples in heaven, every glimpse we get in Scripture, in Isaiah, Revelation, Ezekiel, they all are praising like all the time. So they see who God is and continually are going to praise for it. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that you don't know that you are worth it. You don't know that He values you. You may not know that he has given you worth. He has given you your worth, accounted for it, assessed it, quantified it, and then bartered for you about it with a value that is huge. It's Jesus. It's plenty. He gave his son for you. So, for God so loved the world that he gave his only son. So this is what blows my mind today, and I hope it blows your mind a little bit too. So if you knew that God values you a lot, I think you'd regularly, habitually bow the knee in wonder and appreciation and worship. So what a wonderful God. How mysterious are your ways? Who are you? Who is this God? And I think like Moses, we would say, hey, show me your glory. Show me your ways. That's from Exodus chapter 33. Now, that's not by earning. It's, and I'm back to the habits thought now. So if you knew that no matter how many times you put your forehead to the ground, you could not earn heaven. And if you knew that you could not earn it, but here's the good news. He has earned it. We don't need the calluses. He's calloused himself. He is worthy. He's the one that's worthy to open the scroll, as it says in Revelation chapter 5. They sang a new song saying, worthy are you to take the scroll, open its seals, for you were slain, and by your blood you ransomed people for God from every tribe and language and people and nation. So he is worthy, and we are not, at least not on our own. We become worthy by our association with him, the one who really is worthy. So an old pastor friend of mine, on his deathbed, he asked the other pastor who was going to do his funeral, he reminded him, what would you want to say on your funeral? And he said, just tell him about Jesus. All right, so back to habits. So it's probably a good idea when you understand your sin and your valuation because of it, which is wrath, that when you attach yourself to Jesus, your valuation becomes what he gives you, which is infinite, eternal, unsnatchable. So it is probably worth building a habit around. So seek such a wonderful God. How should we do this? Probably habitually. And let's make a callus, if you will, out of it. And perhaps this podcast can help. If so, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening.